We're currently showcasing a Plan for Greater Feminist Baghdad, a solo exhibition by ALAء Younis. The installation itself features two editions of the work. We have the 2015 edition that is Plan for Greater Baghdad, showcased for the first time at the Venice 56th Biennial. And the 2018 version was created as a co-commission between our Jemil and Delfina Foundation, and focuses on the very same history that the male version looks at, but bringing forth hidden or sort of unrevealed stories that have to do with the female histories as well and the narratives. In the 2015 edition, the timeline itself goes from 1955 up until 2014. There are significant key protagonists that come to the fore of that history, be it Rifat Chadirchi, Iraqi modernist architect, or the very history of sort of Le Corbusier's visits, or Frank Lloyd Wright's visits to Iraq. But very little did we hear before about the female role in all of these sort of histories as well. So to give a brief example about that, the 2018 edition, you see the role of Balqis Sharara, who's Rifat Chadirchi's wife. When he was imprisoned for about 20 months in Abu Ghraib, she made it possible for him to realize 3 of his seminal books. You have Nuhar Radi, artist and author of Baghdad Diaries, that told the stories of the Iraqi siege in the 90s as well, and sort of giving voice into the day-to-day reality of things. Fakhr Nissa Zaid, who was the subject of a recent Tate Modern exhibition, also had witnessed that period in times in terms of forced exile. Obviously, the political and geographical turmoil had made this harder as well in terms of documentation. So mostly the archival material that is showcased here ranges from resources from Le Corbusier's foundation, for example. It goes to found objects, to Facebook pages, to interviews, to publications, to different sort of fiction books and non-fictional books written about that time period. The 2D model on the wall is almost complemented by a physical embodiment that embodies specific moments within that history as well. So you see the figures themselves are kind of frozen within gestures that come from specific stories as well. You see a figure of a female hugging Le Corbusier's gymnasium, and this actually takes inspiration from a monument whereby a mother was hugging a son. So it's also these sort of definitive interesting moments as well that were sort of captured and then recreated to highlight some of the narratives as well. The cross-sectional sort of study of the model itself is also very interesting in consideration that ALAء says she was very curious about the building to start with, having not had the chance to go to Baghdad herself. The collaboration with Delfina Foundation sort of also happened organically while we were in talks with ALAء. We're very much both interested in sort of projects similar to ALAء Younis's in terms of taking a fresh breath at studying the regional's history and sort of being research-led and being open to multiple readings as well. The 2015 edition that we see here is on loan from Barjil Foundation. And the 2018 is a co-commission that we've acquired. The collection itself focuses on building on the narratives that drive the Jemil, the Art Jemil programs. So again, like I mentioned, the idea of confluence, of movement of ideas, looking at both our center here in Dubai, but also in Jeddah, as Dubai and Jeddah being as port cities and cities of movement, ultimately, the idea of museology as well, and what does it mean to be a practicing artist working in the region at this time. So the collection tends to focus on a lot of these different strands as well.